Hey guys, this is Daryl Addison at torpedopot.com. Daryl Addison at torpedopot.com, and these are our self-watering planters. They water your food by themselves. So what I did was that I took my plants and I just took them out the pack and dropped them in there. And they were little seedlings about that high. And now they've produced an abundant amount of seeds for next year. This right here is the bok choy. And it's a beautiful bok choy. I just replaced the cabbage. I want to show you how to replace the bok choy. It's very, very easy. It's less than 5 minutes. I've got to put the cucumbers in place of the bok choy. So these pots have been running by themselves for the bok choy, probably one of the first ones I did, for about 4 months. And it produced a lot of leaves that we use in our salads. And it's absolutely delicious. So I'm going to take it out now. I'm going to take it out, and I started some of it. So basically just grab it, pull it out. And my wife will gather the seeds later on. And I'll just grab these and pull it out. Now the total amount of bok choy that's in this planter, maybe about 40. And I'll just take it, put it here so we can gather the seeds. And next year we'll be able to develop our own bok choy without having to buy any seeds from anyone. You can always tell when you have, there's a couple of weeds that are growing inside of there. You can always tell when you have great bok choy or great soil, because in a torpedo pot, our design is, we don't use any fertilizers. So nothing you see in front of you, whether it be the strawberry planters, and they may produce 800 strawberries a piece, and then you have the curved pot series planters, and they produce an abundant amount of strawberries, and they are delicious. But we don't use fertilizers. What we do is that the pot is designed to promote the growth of the microbes in the soil. It's not designed to flood your plant with water or as you shortchange your plant with water. It's to give it enough water to activate the fungus in the soil so it can break things down, and the bacteria so they can live and not be washed away. And so it does in the soil. And so when you're growing in a torpedo pot, your soil that you started with is not as good as soil you end up with. We had about an 80% decomposed glob of dirt here. But these plants have been growing in here, and they've broken it down even further. That is some beautiful soil. That's gorgeous, gorgeous soil. And I'll bring the camera over so you can take a look at it. But I want you to see how beautiful this soil is. So, inside your torpedo pot, you've got a lot of microbial activity. And this is what happens in your torpedo pot. It is absolutely stunning. So, you can actually put your roots, and you can feel the roots in the soil through your hands. It is so beautiful. That is so rich, because it doesn't drown your soil out. It simply gives it enough moisture and water so that things can grow and develop. The torpedo pot is a great tool to have. So what we're going to do now is that we're going to put these cucumbers in that planter. And yes, that's a lot of cucumbers. But we don't have a problem with overcrowding them in the torpedo pot, because let's take a look at some of our other planters here. And cabbage and lettuce and zucchini and squash and eggplant and first tomatoes and hot peppers, and it just goes on and on. Cilantros and parsley, and it just goes on and on. So the torpedo pot is designed to grow your food, and so let's give it a try. So when you are putting new plants in the torpedo pot, now I normally have my gloves on, but I'm not going to do it this time. I'm just going to show you how to plant the side of there. So what I do is that there's a saturation ring, black saturation ring inside the planter. And what I do is I take full advantage of it. I take the pots out. I can get them separated. Pull them out the pot and just put them, let them hang over the side. That's all you have to do. And you're going to do that for all of these plants. I think in each pot there may be 3 plants. Just let them hang over the side. They're going to run, as cucumbers, they run all over the place. So this is a great opportunity to have them just run. In fact, I don't even have to take them out the container. Take the containers out, just pull them right out the pot and let them do their thing. And so we've got 3 in each pot here. So if we were to do our math, it probably would be pretty easy because 3 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 18. And 18 actual containers have an average of about 3 plants in it. An average of about 3 plants. So 18 times 3, 6 is 60. Just trying to make sure that the calculation's right on this thing right here. Okay, so 18 times 3 is 60 minus 6. I think it's about, oh man, did I break one off? I thought I broke one off. Okay, so you're going to get in this planner about 64 total. Yep, 64 plants. And they're going to compete with this pearl parsley over here, as you can see. And so I might just put some towards the middle and let it hang over, because they're going to love sunlight. They're going to freak out when you get sunlight. And then I'll put the rest of them in there and let them hang over also. I'm not too much worried about abusing them or mistreating them. You're going to get a lot of them will bounce back. If there's any type of problems with putting them in the pot, they'll grow right back and do what they do best. So what I normally do is just drop it in there. Okay? Just like that. Put them next to the saturation ring, and then I'll take soil and just fill it up. So when the pot does water, it won't evaporate. It go down into the soil because it's held by the soil. And that's as simple as filling in a torpedo pot. This is the burpless cucumber. Matures in 70 days. As you can see, this takes seeds and seedlings. So, and here we have seedlings that we're putting inside of here. These are pretty much mature plants. And the reason why I brought these plants, because when you wait this late in the season, you get a great discount. So the plants that you're looking at right here only cost us per tray $9 to $14 per tray, because it's the end of the season and it's what's left over. So a lot of growers want to get rid of this so you can make some type of profit off of it. But that's how we fill the torpedo pot. I'm going to fill it up with dirt, top it off, and hopefully you'll see all these plants bounce back in a short period of time, because they have been in the container, so they haven't been properly watered. The root systems haven't had an opportunity to expand as they grow. So hopefully this would activate it and do what it needs to do. I have yet everything goes through its normal life cycle in the torpedo pot. So very rarely do you get plants that die. Even when you go through your normal life cycle, some plants die early. It's the nature of how the seeds are. It's like all of our children when they're born. Not all of them, they're challenged because of the food we eat, and they're challenged because of the environment that we live in. So you might have some defects. But this also, plants will also have some type of defect in their environment. But generally, those things that are put into the torpedo pot normally grows. And I want to thank you for your time. You can hear the seeds jingling around inside of the bok choy, and it's going to be delicious and ready for next year. Thank you for your time. Talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.